Hi, I'm Brian Koppelman.
And this is David Levine.
We are the writer, creator, directors of Tilt.
Love that Tilt logo that the ESPN folks came up with the burned out glittery lights of Vegas.
Yeah, as soon as we saw that logo, we felt like, oh, they really get our show. They'll be able to market our show well and get the message out there. And they certainly did. As this runs, we'll talk about the actors, and we'll talk about how and why we came to make this show and what we were trying to say with the show. And there's Eddie Cibrian on the Ace of Spades. We actually wrote the part of Eddie Town for Eddie Cibrian.
Sort of shows the glamour and the seedy underbelly of Vegas.
You know what it feels like.
Oh, you're getting to the thematics. I guess now we could count down the themes as we get to them. Glamour and seediness.
The shooter rolls a 7.
Poker star Daniel Negreanu there making the first cameo, throwing the dice.
We appreciate that he came up and participated in the show, and he's a great guy, and I would love to sit at the table with him anytime.
It happens. Your wife calls on the cell phone with a problem at home. The waitress spills a beer on you, or some mook in the anchor seat hits on 15 and takes the last big card in the deck. Suddenly the world shifts.
One of the most important jobs on a TV show or movie is that of assistant director. And we were lucky enough to have a great friend and a great assistant director up working with us, Andrew Shea.
Andrew Dutch Shea.
You're off balance.
One of the AD's main jobs is to maneuver all the extras to make the casino look convincing and lively, so the place always looks bustling.
So Dutch, here's to you.
It ain't. Same game it's always been. Zeros are different. You tell your crews.
This is the great Don McManus as Bart Lowball Rogers. We always wanted to have a scene where you saw how Lowball got his name. Lowball's a game that the worst cards win, and we thought the idea that a head of a casino who made his initial living by playing a game where the worse you do, the better you do was an interesting thing.
What'd you say your name was, honey?
Miami.
That's right.
The fictional setting of the show is the Colorado Casino, and because of the realities of TV production in this day and age, we happen to shoot our show up in Toronto, but John Donnerman, very talented production designer, helped put together this incredible casino as our main location for the show.
He created Vegas north of the border.
Too tough for me. I'm out.
Dave, you want to talk about how we came to cast Kristen Lehman as Miami?
Well, we looked far and wide for somebody who could play this character because Miami was sort of supposed to be a fantasy character in a way. A beautiful girl who was totally smart, cool enough to hang with any group of guys, smart enough to beat them at cards, and there just aren't that many actresses out there that can pull that off. But as soon as we saw Kristen, we knew she was the one.
Sorry, we have to be silent for a moment, respectfully, for Mr. Madsen's entrance here. When you set off to do something like this, you know that you have a partnership with the people who are financing the show. And our network was really terrific to us in the way that they supported our vision the whole time. And one of the first moments that we really saw that was when we went to them and we said, we know it's going to cost you a lot more money than you originally planned, but we think we could get Michael Madsen to do this show, and we need you to step up and spend the money to get him. And they didn't hesitate at all.
Just trying to figure out what color that sweatsuit is.
Man, the set is aubergine.
Really? Looks like eggplant to me.
Here we see the beginning of sort of the con setup of the show, where Clark tackles Eddie, setting up the fact that they hate each other, and both actors did this stunt themselves, which was pretty cool.
Yeah,
Todd Williams leapt over the table like a trained stuntman.
The stunt coordinator for this show, Steve Lasescu, who I actually thought was Steve Lachescu until he left us a message yesterday, But Steve Lasescu is really known as the best stuntman in North America and was an old friend of ours and agreed to do this show even though he doesn't usually do television shows. And when...
Especially for guys who don't know how to pronounce his last name.
Yeah, especially. We're so close that I thought it was Lasescu. But he actually demonstrated that jump. He showed a tremendous amount of, I think the word you used on the day was brio, Dave. And he demonstrated a tremendous amount of brio as he jumped across the table and tackled another stunt guy. And then our actors immediately followed suit and did it on the day themselves.
Love that crap. How to go right cross, huh? Give the people what they want.
And here we are in a Toronto bathroom, walking right out the door into downtown Las Vegas, where we got to shoot on location.
Oh, there she is.
Well, that went about as well as it could have.
Well, see if Seymour was right.
When we were shooting this stuff in Las Vegas, we didn't sleep very much.
No, we shot as much as we could, and we gambled the rest of the time.
It was poker, mostly, that I was playing. Dave, you stepped up to the craps table, though. How did that go for you?
That was a mistake. I ended up working for free, basically, making the show.
There are 3 members of people who've been on Third Watch.
Third Watch. Eddie Cibrian was on it for many years. Chris Bauer and
Todd Williams,
who plays Clark. He did a guest star. And, you know, if you're wondering if that's coincidence, the answer is no. And if you want to know how to cast a TV show, obviously just watch a John Wells show and cast anybody who's available.
Whoever John Wells uses, you can use. It's a little shorthand.
What about you?
Maybe when I know you better.
Originally, when we went to make the show, we didn't have it in the budget to get a trip out to Vegas to shoot. We were going to try to get second unit stuff or just shoot the thing entirely in interiors in Toronto. But as soon as the first couple days worth of dailies came back to the network, they got so excited about the process, they decided to redouble their commitment, and we got a budget overage to go out.
It was a great opportunity to go out there and shoot in Vegas. And I think the other thing they could have done is just bankroll me to go play. And we could have maybe gotten the budget that way. Because I crushed those tables during those few days out there. Just crushed them.
I'm looking for a no-limit game.
Now, the guy playing the scene here with Chris Bauer, the guy playing Skip Dimitriopoulos, the poker boss, is named Fulvio
Cesare.
And we had this great moment when Michael Madsen first came on set. Fulvio was real excited to meet him and get to work with him. And sometimes you can tell when a guy is trying to really play it off. Like something's no big deal, but you know it's the biggest moment of their entire life. And Madsen walks on set, and we saw Fulvio get all ready and sort of excited and then calm himself down. And he goes walking over to Madsen, and he extended his hand like, I don't know, like 10 feet before getting to Mike to shake his hand. And he just goes, "Hey, Mike, I'm Fulvio. Call me Fuv." And
we had the distinct impression he might have rehearsed that one in the mirror.
It seemed like there was a lot of time in the mirror the night before going, "Hey, Mike, I'm Fulvio. Call me Fulvio." No, that's wrong. Call me. Anyway, so if you ever run into Fulvio on the street, call him Fuv.
See a flop? We need to go.
Who the hell are you?
His name's Crackle. He ain't supposed to be here.
Car counter?
No, it's just something wrong with him. Like a pants mess or something.
Dove Tiefenbach.
Dove Tiefenbach playing Crackle. A great screen personality and a great guy. We love Dove. He was in our movie Knockaround, guys, and we knew when we were going up to Toronto to shoot this, we had to find a way to get him in the show.
I'm out.
Son of a bitch, you know, you crap your pants one time and they never let you forget it.
Thanks. If I knew you were in Laughlin together, he could know you were in Laughlin together.
Seymour Annisman, his last name actually comes from, I had a great uncle named Nate Annisman, and he passed away about 10 years ago. And he was a great guy, worked in New York in the Garment Center, right near where we're recording this voiceover. And he was actually a small-time loan shark in the Garment Center. And just a great New York character. He would come over to our house sometimes with yards of fabric that guys would pay him back instead of paying him money. And he'd just show up and say, "Make some pants out of these for yourselves." So when
we took his last name to be the last name of the character who's the voice of wisdom in the show, played by Ken Welsh.
You could take me down to the table, Eddie. If all things are even.
Of course, we whacked him out after 3 episodes.
Well, when you fall in love with a guy and then whack him out, put some meaning on the fact that his character goes.
Blackjack, your play is flawless. House edge is 0.8%.
Yeah, but in poker, you're not playing the house.
No.
Poker room has some home game hero wants to step up. He wants to play monkey in the middle.
Well, you'll sit in then too, right?
This is the logic that I can't tell you how many times I've used it to explain to people why I'm not gambling when I've come home and my pockets are empty. And
that poker's not really a game of chance played against the house. That has an edge.
But Stasiak, he's hungry.
But here, in this show, we set it up so that distinctly the house does have an edge.
I say we let him thin out a little bit till the end of the week. I'm gonna go relieve myself.
Where it is?
What'd you say the game was?
Guy wants to play no limit.
If anybody's interested in sort of the filmmaking standpoint of this thing, one small point that you may notice as the series continues is whenever there's a scene set around a poker table, whenever we're around a game, especially in the casino, there's a richer look color-wise to the show. And when people are away from the table, it's a little desaturated, sort of bled out of color. And the idea there is that all these poker players are only truly alive when they're playing cards.
More or less. Change that up for me, would you?
Excuse me, Matador?
Yeah.
Your book's the reason I'm here. Would you sign it?
I remember shooting this scene. This was a long night. It was the first scene that Mike Madsen and Chris Bauer were playing together. And when you bring 2 actors like that together for the first time, it is like heavyweights. They're really pacing and looking at each other and each trying to calibrate what the other guy's bringing. And at different points in the night, each guy came over to us and said, "Hey, he's really good. Hey, he's really good."
No, thanks, man. I think
And that's why I think the scene comes off so well. They were really getting into playing the scene, really enjoyed it.
Make it 1,000.
Did you even look at your hand?
Well, I didn't have to, because I saw you look at yours.
I'm a fold.
Very smart. That's one free lesson. The next one's gonna cost you.
One of the fun things about doing a poker show is you can write lines in the hopes that people who play will start to quote them heavily in their home games. And we had that experience after Rounders, and we knew that this was going to be a spot where a couple of quotable lines were going to come out. The free lesson line, and beyond that, when Madsen says to him, "I didn't have to look at my cards, I saw you look at yours," we've already heard that one coming back at us across poker tables. The kids love to say that one.
It's great when you're playing cards online and someone throws, you play anonymously online. And if my son's listening, I never play for money. But if you are playing online and someone quotes something that you've written in a movie at you and they don't know that it's you, it's a really rewarding moment.
This is the obligatory strip club scene, which, if you can work into the first 15 minutes of your TV show, it'll definitely go on the air.
So
Whoa, man. The man said see.
These 2 guys are terrific actors from Canada. Umpo and Single.
And then I was racist. You said see. It was over. See this, son. What?
This time I raise. I'll take the second half of that bet up out of the pot. Let's finish this hand. Cool?
if I'm not mistaken, there's still a standing basketball challenge between those two guys and Brian here and Eddie Cibrian.
Let me just say that
a lot of pride, and I think money was riding on it.
Single and Umpo felt that they could handle us on the court, but Cibrian and I feel very comfortable. And Single and Umpo, if you are listening, come to New York, and we'll finally settle this thing. You know, we're used to working primarily on feature films, and you have a much longer schedule when you make a movie. When you're making a TV show, you have to figure out how to accomplish everything you want to accomplish in a limited amount of time. And if you look at this, which is supposed to be the back of that strip club, our production designer, John Donderman, found a way. This whole little setup there happened in a corner of a real loading dock on our stage that he, in about 3 days, turned into what you believe is the back room at a strip club. And all throughout this thing, our team in Canada found different ways to really add an incredible production value to the show. They constantly pushed themselves to surprise us by finding solutions to whatever the problems were, and it was great to see people all believing that we were working on something of real quality.
4,000.
You know, only Eddie Cibrian was a card player before we started shooting. And when you look at these card games, these guys really appear that they know what they're doing. We had a few different poker instructors. Eric Seidel, who is one of the greatest card players in history, is a technical advisor on the show.
A great tournament player and a guy who really advised us on sort of the life of a professional player.
He spent a lot of time with the writers of the show, with us and with
the rest of the writing staff.
The rest of the writing staff talking about the thematics. And then John Harkness and Rich Kaplan, two Canadians who are both fine poker players who also have other careers. They spent a lot of time teaching everybody how you hold chips and how you're supposed to make a bet and the way to handle your cards, and they organized various poker tournaments and games as we were in rehearsals.
And to the actors' credit, they all picked it up so well. It's pretty convincing to watch them play.
I mean, David and I are both card players. We love to play poker, and we certainly sat and had long games going throughout the whole time we were shooting. I mean, when we were in college, if someone would have told us that a company would build a giant casino for us to put on a show in, and then we'd get to use that place the rest of the time to play cards, we would have been pretty psyched.
But I'll tell you, it was pretty hard staying with the work when we were up there with all those card tables and actually tons of extras who are also real dealers. We had a 3-man freeze-out going with Eddie Cibrian basically the whole time we were shooting. A lot of money changed hands there.
Usually flowed in a good direction, though.
Well, for the Koppelman Levine enterprise, certainly.
Usually flowed towards the writer-directors. Now, I don't know, you think he was just dumping to us so we'd give him more lines and more to do? You think he was playing the bigger game of poker?
No, he was just losing.
I think he was just losing, too. I'm glad that's how you see it. Now we're back actually in Las Vegas.
Chopped him up pretty good, huh? Yeah. Take my half.
Now, my son Sam actually saved us in this moment. Dave, do you remember?
I do remember. This was a great pickup by Sam.
We had originally, right here there's a reference to Rocky III, and in the script it was originally Rocky II.
Can't wait to go heads up with you like Creed and Rocky at the end of 3.
And my son called me. He had just read the script. He's 9, and he said, "Dad, you guys messed up, you and Uncle Dave." I said, "What do you mean we messed up?" And he said, "Well, you referenced Rocky II, but you wrote Rocky III." And we were shooting it that night. And we immediately changed everything and got it right and put it in the show the right way. One great thing about getting the opportunity to make a show like this is you can really go and get your favorite actors. And when you say here, we're doing 9 shows, you don't have to make an incredibly long commitment, but if you dig the material, you can, come and be a part of it. And Chris Bauer, who plays Lee Nickel, was an actor from the moment we first saw him work. Dave and I both said, we got to find a way to work with that guy.
Des Moines, Iowa, originally, but I've been around, the last 10 years or so.
This was the first thing we shot with Chris Bauer.
Gambling, I've been a gambler.
And he found the character very quickly. I think he understood it right at the audition.
In a lot of ways, this Lee Nickel character is the heart of the show. He his brother was killed by the Matador, and he's sort of crushed and steaming and looking for revenge over it. And he really represents sort of a fresh wound, as all the characters have suffered bad losses to the Matador.
Yeah, and to just be serious about this for a moment, as poker has become really popular and as it started to become considered like a sport and has started to get this huge following, we can't help but remember that this is a backroom game originally, and it comes from, its roots are in roadside gamblers who would go from town to town and try to survive on their wits, and had to learn how to defend themselves against cheaters and against being robbed and against crooked police. And the legends of the game, who are now playing in this very clean environment, had to come from somewhere that was the opposite of that. And we thought it would be really interesting to set up a fictional context where those worlds were in opposition, and where the old school way of doing things with cheating and angle shooting came up against this new school where these guys are like athletes going from tournament to tournament and risking their money in order to win a big championship and win glory. I mean, and that's the heart of what the series concerns itself with, and what was really animating about it to us as creators.
And a thanks on that front to T.J. Cloutier, who was up for a quick cameo right in the beginning of the series and showed us a lot of cheating techniques that he had learned about the hard way when he was young, watching sort of gangs of Confederates try to take his money and overcoming it. And he provided us with some invaluable advice and information on how team cheating is done at a poker table.
Is that how you became a card player?
Yeah, a lot of people have come up to me, and we've done a lot of interviews where people say, how do you feel about the fact that this is a game now played by kids everywhere? That 10-year-olds and 15-year-olds and 12-year-olds are getting together on a Friday night and they're having these freeze-out tournaments. And I think it's great, actually, because they're not really gambling. I mean, what they're doing is they're each putting in like $10 like they'd go to a movie, and they're playing for that one prize. There's no downside. They can't lose more than that. Poker has really separated itself out from games of chance in that way. It's much closer to chess tournaments where you pay an entry fee to be in and somebody wins a prize. And I think that's a great thing for the game, but it is not a game that's hermetically sealed and clean yet. There are still deals made at final tables. There are still certainly suggestions of collusion places, and we just wanted to root some of that stuff out and lift it up and put it in the light.
It is. How about you? How old were you?
Doesn't matter.
Sure it does. How'd he break you?
The usual way. He took all my money.
I want to hear.
I want to know who wins next year's Super Bowl. You got that?
Must have been brutal.
All right. I'm gone.
Are you going back to bed?
Why, are you coming?
This diner scene was actually the first day of shooting. And these actors jumped right into their characters. It was amazing. And Steve Cousins, the director of photography, was right there to create a great look. You can see you go from like a small, warm-looking diner to this cold sort of head office suite of the hotel. And Steve's real talented. I mean, he just made this stuff look so great. He made the actors just look fascinating, shadowed when they should be. They look good when they should. They look bad when they should. He's just a really talented guy.
I was cheated in your casino. You don't mince words. That's good. That means I don't have to either. I reviewed your complaint. As a courtesy, I went over the security tapes. There's nothing there.
I'd like to see them.
I don't think so.
Don McManus, who plays Lowball, is a guy that we wanted to work with for a long time. He had come in and auditioned for something we were working on once. And although he wasn't right for that part, we always remembered. And when we wrote this part, we thought, oh, originally ESPN actually didn't have it in the budget to fly a character in to play this role. And we were going to cast somebody out of Canada. But we asked McManus to come in and read for it. And we told him there was a chance we wouldn't be able to bring him, but would you come in anyway? And he read, and we sent it to the ESPN guys. And they watched it, and they said, there's no question we need to spend the extra dough. So even though he wasn't a marquee name, he didn't add any value to the poster. And Don, that's not because of your mug. You look fine. But, you know, no one's coming to turn on the show because you're on it. But Certainly not in the beginning. But ESPN felt like, hey, this guy adds enough value that let's spend the extra money.
Your brother left here because he was thrown out. And I'm the one that tossed him. He was no longer welcome here. And that is the territory that you are rapidly approaching. Go home to what's left of your family while you still can.
Pride goeth before a fall.
Sometimes when you're writing something like this, you have an outline and you sort of know where you want to go. But this scene just sort of occurred. Eddie left that diner, and he had to go somewhere, and suddenly he had a mother.
And we read a lot of response on the internet that people were getting kind of excited that he was going to go sleep with an older woman. But in the end, that's not quite the way the scene went.
That's Mom.
You never did.
We both broken our share of promises.
I got a shift in half an hour. Dealing over at the Nugget.
This scene shows that he's got a pretty rocky relationship with his mom, and it references an even worse relationship with his father, who comes into the show in episode 6, played by the great actor Robert Forster. And it was one of our ideas that a guy like Eddie, who sort of grew up, lived by his wits, playing cards in the casinos, might not have the best family background.
Would you stop pacing around like that? It's driving me crazy. What are you doing here anyway? I thought you swore off the place.
What can I say? It's like the Death Star just pulls me back in.
The Death what?
Nothing.
We do reference old movies. Rocky III, which might also have been the 70s. No, I guess, no, 82 maybe. And
Top Gun.
Top Gun. During the course of just this 1 hour of the first show. And actually, Rocky III, Dave, the summer that you and I first met, we went and saw that movie together. And like goofballs, I remember we stood up at the end cheering for Rocky in the theater.
Oh,
but we were 15.
He beat Clubber Lang, didn't he?
He did beat Clubber, and that was exciting.
Let's make a wager, Skip. I bet you don't find one other nickel in that book. Or a dime, or a quarter, or a Susan...
This was a fun scene. I mean, here's Fulvio again, just taking abuse ranging from the phone book in the chest to getting shelled with peanuts to having to turn over his Rolex on the psychological level.
This is the kind of thing an actor brings, by the way. Michael Madsen, I remember we were shooting the scene, and we were rehearsing the scenes, and he said, all of a sudden he said, anybody have any, you got any peanuts there? Brian, David, you got any sort of nuts or objects or nuts that I could maybe hurl?
He also drank 3/4 of a bottle of bourbon during the shooting of the scene, and we later found out that it was not prop bourbon.
We thought it was prop bourbon, but he said it made his performance smoother.
And oaky.
And I guess it made it oaky as well.
You left me wide open.
I'll clear my stuff out.
No.
And obviously, Fuv was excited because he got to play this scene. Well, there's the peanuts.
I love Madsen in the scene. He's like a melding of the young and the old Elvis into one malevolent package. And nobody can pistol shoot like that.
Yeah, when he brought those
Hollywood.
fingers out and did that quarter slots thing with the fingers,
TikTok.
we were out of our minds. That painting on the wall there currently hangs in our office in New York. And
that was commissioned by Brian Koppelman.
It was commissioned because Lowball would be in this game 2-7. We wanted a 2 of diamonds. We thought it would be something that Lowball would have in his office. Real Vegas artwork kitsch.
The astute viewer may also notice his cuffs are monogrammed with the 2 of diamonds as well.
Look,
When you have a problem in Vegas, I guess the show is saying don't go to Vegas Metro PD.
I can't open
Well, a crooked sheriff is sort of a staple in our dramatic diet. We try to include one in everything we do.
It is. It's like Branford and Winton with a horn. If you got Branford and...
Whatever that means. But like in Rounders, we have cops beat up our heroes, and in Knockground Guys, we have cops beat up our heroes, and this cop does a lot of bad things too. But we actually love cops. Support them, always happy to see them.
except in our films and TV shows.
Down the river we go. 6
Now,
hearts.
We have to give a shout out in this scene to a great director and a great visualist, Gore Verbinski. We were looking for interesting visual ways to capture the way that you sort of gain knowledge during a poker game and how we could express that visually.
And we wrote in the script, Eddie sees through the cards. And you'd think that that'd be an easy thing to figure out how to shoot. We asked effects guys, you know, and things would cost, we asked cameramen, cinematographers, we asked fellow directors, and nobody had a simple and clean answer. How do you see through cards? So one day we were sitting around, we said, you know, Gore's always said, call me if you ever have any questions about anything.
And Gore's a director who directed The Ring, The Mexican, Pirates of the Caribbean, a very talented guy.
Mouse Hunt. And he, we sent him the pages, got on the phone with him, and he said, well, why don't you just do an old-fashioned dissolve where you lock off the cards and shoot it one way and then
flip them over
and shoot them, and then do an old-fashioned dissolve the way they would have done this effect in camera a long time ago. Why don't you do something like that, he said. We said, well, we'll just do that.
And it worked really well.
This scene combines a couple of our real interests.
Good. All right.
Poker.
Boxing, and making fun of a guy that you beat at the poker table.
Yeah.
This actor here is Daniel Fathers. He's a great Toronto actor and
a jack of many trades.
Many trades and a master of acting.
A set. You're minted? I'm bonded. Up the ladder to the 6.
3-4. You got all my chips with them little cards. Got broke with itty-bitty cards. You played them like you had a pair.
No, I played them because I have a pair.
You know, a guy can only be as great at the poker table as the guys he beats, and Daniel really made this fun to watch.
Next case.
You said 5 minutes, right?
Yeah, here. Vegas pass key?
We've always been fascinated by the payoff, the bribe.
And just how much a $100 bill can get you in life.
Gets her a little trip back to memory lane. That's what she's buying
memory
for the
lane.
Hyundai. That's what she's buying for the Hyundai. She gets to go back in time. She gets to live in her own Journey or Survivor song. Whichever one takes you back.
Apparently, this is touted as the nicest suite in Toronto. Duran Duran stayed there.
They did. And they were coming in. The next day, one of those guys was coming in.
They probably found some old craft services sandwiches tucked between the couch cushions.
Now, this is one of our favorite moments like we've ever been a part of. Just this guy's spiel, what he brought. Tony Nappo, the actor.
Key and raise me a hula hoop.
What he brings here when he says, make me. You think he might jump over and eat her head off.
But instead, he just loses at cards.
Loses and walks away.
Pump it up 7,000.
You got a call now, Johnny. I mean, you can't get bluffed.
And this guy brought something pretty special. I don't know his name, though.
She's 12. No, I'm not going anywhere.
Tony had just come off of shooting the sequel to Dawn of the Dead, and had just finished that night and came in without sleeping and was still a total pro.
He said, I was a zombie until a half an hour ago. Now I got to play this.
Here's Make Me.
You owe me $7 grand.
Yeah? Well, like they say on the playground, little girl, make me.
Hey, if you refuse...
Oh, how are you going to make him do anything?
Never get another
You yell at him, that's how.
And by here, I mean the state. Is that clear? Now throw it in.
Yeah.
And this is the beginning of the Miami and Seymour relationship.
Now you did.
Johnny Gacciano always...
You always want to throw a little laugh in when you get gutted out of $7 grand by a 12-year-old girl. Eases the sting.
You're gonna have to be careful with the gum. Against a better player, might give something away.
See, only a wise man could give this advice, but only a wise girl would know to listen.
We thought it might be cute if when she looked under there, the old gum was still there, but we were convinced otherwise, and we think it was good advice.
George Booza, who plays Tropical Henry in the show, was a guy who we'd worked with before, and when we came up with the idea of Tropical Henry, it was only ever going to be George who played him.
It takes a special man to fill out a Hawaiian shirt in that fashion, and that's George.
That's George with a cleaned-up look, by the way. And Eddie Cibrian really does bring the perfect combination of he's somehow doing all these unlikable things in the show, but you root for him anyway, you like him anyway, because you sense as you watch him that there's a good heart in there somewhere.
We're with Don Everest, known in the poker world as the Matador, for his ability to lure the young bulls into the ring and cut them down.
Here's Norman Chad, who came up and visited us and played himself.
I played poker against Norman that night, and it was a little tournament on set, and I gutted him and took all the money that he had, and I won. And he emailed me the next day and said, "I think you're just a tournament player. I want to get you at a cash table."
But I challenge anyone in here to take me on.
And Norman actually was a good sport about it, as Omaha, I think, is the game that he claims is his
He's a
strong
great
suit.
Omaha player. We played tournament-style Hold'em.
Well, getting a guy into his weak game is half the battle.
Michael Murphy, who came in to play Malloy for us, is another guy who was on our list of actors we're dying to work with. We knew him from the Woody Allen movies, from such movies as Manhattan, from The Front.
He was in Oliver Stone's movie Salvador, and he was in the Tanner 88 shows and the new Tanner show.
Just a legendary, powerful screen presence. And actually, writing for his character after this episode, when we knew it was going to be Michael Murphy, was incredibly fun and exciting.
You got it straight?
Yeah. I don't raise your blind. If you're in a hand, I'm out of the hand unless I'm building you a pot.
Here's a good example of some of Steve Cousins' work.
Bluff my step.
Moody top lighting, pools of light that they're walking through, creates a really interesting look in the casino. Also, the little handheld feeling with the short zooms. All this stuff was designed to sort of enliven the poker moments. Whip pans. This is just little filmmaking techniques that we tried to employ to show how players in a casino gain knowledge of the moments of discovery.
Casinos being the backbone of this town, you really ought to respect our self-governance.
As important as they are, the casinos still need to be held accountable. Just show me the tapes.
This is exactly what I wanted to do first thing in the morning, by the way. Thank you.
You never hear people on these commentaries talk about the costumer, because you only notice the costumer, the person who dresses, wardrobes the actors, when they do a bad job. When they do a good job, you don't notice the clothes, they just seem right. And Noreen Landry, our costumer, really just dressed everybody in the show exactly as they'd be in real life, and deserve to be singled out for that, because that is a very hard, rigorous job. That you work the longest hours, and you never get the right level of appreciation.
We love Noreen. She did a great job, her and her whole department.
The whole team. So, if Noreen, if you could send us any wardrobe extras that you have, that would be great.
Is there anything else I can do for you, gentlemen?
Thank you for your time, sir.
Thank you, Luke.
Oh, you're welcome, sir.
You know they say man only talks once he's made his hand. Man, that miss won't even scratch his macadamia.
The actor here who plays with Todd Williams right here, Michael Miranda, is a great Canadian character actor and was actually in Knockaround Guys. When he was in Knockaround Guys, he had a different name. His name was Silvio Olvera, and he changed his name to Michael. He said he was having a hard time getting parts where he wasn't typecast as a Latino, which makes a lot of sense, but we spent a lot of time with the guy as Silvio. And I guess it was really important to him that he had changed his name. But in the middle of shooting a take, when you'd want to give the guy a note and you're across the room, you shout, it's reflex. And constantly, Dave kept going, Silvio!
Right about one thing.
And then I kept saying it. You kept saying it.
No, come on now. I knew his name was Michael.
You had to apologize up and down, and now you're doing it again on the commentary track.
But Michael,
a guy when he's down.
Michael, we salute you. Great job in the show. And I guess on the next show, if you change your name again, we'll be calling you Michael.
But you'll be on it.
Yeah, you'll be in anything we do. Always a role for you.
We understand you two had a problem here recently. Keep it civil, or you'll both be removed and forfeit your spots.
I will if you will. I'm just interested in that seat.
This sequence here took a long time to put together in the editing room, actually. The performances were great, but...
Is it another obligatory that when you're in a kitchen, you got to get on the Steadicam and wander around like Scorsese and Goodfellas?
Yeah, but I mean, you're not really comparing this moment to that moment, are you?
I'm just comparing how we tried to ape it maybe a little.
And that's what you're looking at. That's what you paid your money for, to get the DVD. Oh, yeah, I love the scene. But it's not as good as the Copa scene in Goodfellas.
Well, what is?
Really? The wedding scene in The Godfather.
That's good.
So this is the moment where Clark and Miami don't know that Eddie is going to make this move and dump his chips to Tropical Henry to make Tropical Henry seem like he's in league with him. And I wish I could say that on the day we didn't tell the actors what was going to happen either. But that's always a lie when directors say that on the commentary track. The actors, nobody knew what was going to happen. Well, I mean, you got stunt guys and camera guys who have to move to positions and...
This thing called a script?
There's a script.
That reveals what happens next?
People always know what's going to happen, and when directors say that, they are lying.
2 pair, kings and eights.
Well, you just heard the searing guitar of Lou Natale, the composer.
Great job throughout the show. That's another one of those jobs where this guy gets the show, each episode put together like on a Tuesday, and by Wednesday he has to have scored the whole thing. It's almost impossible to do well, and he really carries it off with a plum. And now I guess we're heading up to the Top Gun reference, which I got to tell you we're actually proud of. In a way, I think we might have written that line hoping that Bill Simmons, the sports guy, would notice it, but so far he hasn't noticed it.
I thought you were going to give him a hand release under the table.
I will hand you your ass if you try that again.
What's that, right?
Somebody shoot somebody already, or else cut the bull crap.
It wasn't you I was setting up, Clark. I've got it in with the Matador. Yeah, I saw what you were trying to do, all right? But if you're gonna change a play, you gotta call an audible.
He's right. It was reckless. But it's in motion now. So, I want you to lose this to him in a public place.
This is where a lot of what's going on in the show starts to get revealed. And we actually, when we conceived the show, we did have this idea that we weren't going to reveal everything as it happened. And it was okay with us if it was a little confusing at first.
I had enough of this Maverick Iceman routine for one day.
Me too.
Hey, just so you know, I'm Maverick.
Whatever.
He's Maverick. And we were concerned that some old people would think we were, not that there's anything wrong with old people, that old people might think he was trying to say that he was James Garner, the old Maverick, because it is a poker show. But if anyone's wondering, we hope the Iceman reference would clear it up.
You see the game. Like Spassky saw the ball.
Here's a little insider poker reference.
You are the best natural card player since the Kid Unger, but you've got no patience.
Stu Younger, maybe the greatest card player who ever lived, actually, but who succumbed to a drug addiction and died at a very young age. Won 3 World Series of poker.
You never told me what happened between you and Everest.
You're right. Let this thing unfold for a minute. This time, maybe we'll both win.
Stunt guys, real guys. Stunt guys.
When did you get the call?
Real guys. Real guys from here on out.
The call to erase the tapes.
We raced them on schedule. Oh! Who moved up the schedule? Who told you to do it? Bobo? Look at me! I will leave you here, leaking on the concrete.
And these guys got seriously into this moment.
I've been seeing you all over the place. What are you up to, and who are you working for?
Nobody. I'm dead. I'm dead.
I'm through hurting you as long as you're talking.
It was cold this night, and these guys just toughed it out. Freezing in Canada during this time of year.
No, babe.
Who the hell else? Don't make me do this to you.
The Matador. On Everest.
There was a moment there when we were shooting the show, we didn't know if we were going to be able to use the nickname, the Matador, for our character, because I guess there's a poker player who's known by that nickname.
Yeah, we found out that Carlos Mortensen uses that name sometimes, but he was kind enough to sign a release. I mean, he knew this character wasn't him at all in any way.
No connection. But the character's name was always Don Everest, and we thought that we were going to have to change the idea of the Matador guy who lures the young bulls into the ring and cuts them down into Don Everest, the summit of poker.
The mountain, Don the Mountain Everest. That was going to be the last-minute change. But I don't even know if the show ever makes it to air if you call him the Mountain.
No, the Matador's better.
I say, if you're strong, you gotta show it. No!
Oh, that hurts.
There's some more Michael Madsen improvisation Improvisational.
No, that's right. Improvisation. I think that's what it is.
He improvisationally jumped up on his leg with two feet instead of one.
In 1949, legendary gambler Nick the Greek Dandalos came to town, squared off against Johnny Moss in a running no-limit poker game that went on for 4 months. Crowds gathered every day to see if an out-of-towner could beat the best Vegas had. Moss was up $4 million before the Greek stood and said, "Mr. Moss, I have to let you go." And that's the way it usually
I mean, and this obviously really is true, everything Eddie's saying in this voice over here, this story.
Vegas wins.
It is hard to come out to Vegas and leave a winner.
On the next Tilt.
This has been the audio commentary portion of the first episode of Tilt.
Don Everest.
Does Everest cheat or worse? Got rumors. You want more information? Go spread some money around. There's plenty of people know things. Be happy to tell you for a few bucks. Get up.
You keep messing with us, you'll wind up like that nut bar crackle.
Did my name come up? Yeah, forget about it.
What happens now?
You disappear.
When I see a strong young player with the makings of becoming a real pro, I'll put him in a game. I'll bankroll him.
You forget my friend Phil runs that game. He said you cracked it for 20 grand.
What do you want? The pockets are empty.
This is Eddie. This is my daughter, Dee.
Hey. You work for my father now?
He's just a young poker player, a very promising young poker player.
You look promising.
Listen,
Let
it cost me money, a lot of money. You're gonna pay me back one way or another.
Let go.
You hearing me?
I've been trying to show these to somebody all day.